Reverend MeeLing, Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady Dori Belle, Lady MeeLing America. I've been known by a few names. I'm still the same person. So, I'm a little bit of an ornery mood right now, just a smidgen. It's better to be in that type of a mood than other moods that I've had by technicalities. So, I'm going to give like a verbal, brief aspect because I must say, I received a message earlier that discussed certain aspects of homeowners associations. And so I'm going to go over a few different aspects in that regard. So, one day I had read the covenant of the homeowners association, okay? And I was just kind of like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean you can't have firearms? It's like breaking the Second Amendment. That's breaking the Second Amendment. How are you going to go and say that? That's bullshit. That's wrong. That's wrong. And so I had met one of my neighbors and I was like, can you believe, and mind you, I didn't have any of my own, but can you believe you can't have firearms in this subdivision? And the guy looks at me and goes, what do you mean? He said, did you read the covenant? And he goes, what covenant? And I was like, the covenant for the homeowners association. I wasn't doing that because I didn't have a dress on. Nonetheless, I was stomping and I was pouty and I was like, that's some BS. That's bullshit. What do you mean you can't have firearms in here? Don't think so. And I didn't know he was a hunter. He was like, yeah, I don't think so. Nobody's going to come in my house and take my firearms. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. All for the Second Amendment. And so, there's a point in time where I told my now dead ex-husband, when, before the first separation, all you have to do is get one gun safe. One. It's all you have to do. I am not against the Second Amendment. I am all for the Second Amendment. However, all you gotta do is I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, so I have memory issues, along with a whole bunch of others, like headaches and migraines and cognitive disorders, and went from college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to second grade math. So, memory issues. One day I said, all you have to do is get one gun safe. One. Dealt with the conversation. Okay, but still, all you have to do is get one gun safe. Otherwise, I'm going to go New Jersey gun laws on you. Dealt with the conversation. Okay, but you still have to get just one gun safe. If I remember, and you have not gotten a gun safe, all you gotta do is get one gun safe. So then when I remembered the next time, all you have to do is get one gun safe. So that was where I was nagging. Now that's the type of, I don't know if that's really considered nagging when you really think about it. But that was where I was a nagger. All I gotta do is get one gun safe. That's it. My son and my daughter, biologically is, but my son and my daughter, all you gotta do is get one gun safe. Then they don't have to I was doing laundry at the time, and they crawl around. So all he did was keep the guns all the firearms were all over the floor. And usually they were loaded. So, just one, because and before anyone's like, well, why didn't he put any on the shelves? Because they were already on the shelves. It was the shelves in the walk-in closet were completely, you know, covered in firearms. And then, like, there were a bunch all over the floor. Just one gun safe. Just one. All you gotta do is get one. That's it. That's it. You know? So, dealt with conversation each time. And then when I finally remembered, okay, 30 days, I'm giving you the warning. 30 days, just get one gun safe. Dealt with conversation. You know, the covenant of the Homeowners Association says you can't have any. I am, like, perfectly fine with firearms. I'm for the Second Amendment. Like, all you gotta do is get one gun safe. Okay, 30 days. I remember. Dealt with conversation. 30 days. If I remember, conversation, you see a pattern of behavior. So that was technically me nagging. Just get one gun safe. I don't think there are many individuals that can truthfully be like, that is like the most, not truthfully, not unless being sarcastic. I mean, like, yeah, if only my spouse would only nag only about that. However, just get one gun safe, that's it. Just one. Just one. Nope. So then, I'm gonna go New Jersey gun laws. And not just New Jersey gun laws. I'm gonna go New Jersey Virgo CDO gun laws. I don't care how many conversations I dealt with up until that point. All you gotta do is get one gun safe. I will go New Jersey CDO Virgo gun laws on you. Dealt with another conversation. 30 days. Dealt with another conversation. And then finally, I remembered I gave him 30 days, and I don't remember when that time was. However, it's been more than 30 days. Because here's what happened. I wrote it on a calendar. Put it on the calendar. 30 days. In blood by technicalities because of a conversation. So, nonetheless, it was 30 days. I gave him 30 days. That's it. Day came. Okay. That is me pretending I was, because I went to the computer. I'm going to go on eBay. I'm going to have it delivered. I'm going to get that gun safe, click. I'm going to get that gun safe, click. I'm going to get that gun safe, click. And because I'm going New Jersey gun laws, I'm going to get that gun safe for the bullets. I'm going to get that gun safe for the keys. And I'm going to get that gun safe for the locks for each of the, or the keys for each of the locks. I'm going to be on shit. So, I got a gun safe for the rifles. I got a gun safe for the pistols. I got a gun safe for the black powder rifles. I got a gun safe for the black powder pistols. I got a gun safe for the bullets. I got a gun safe for the keys for the individual gun locks for all of the firearms. I dealt with a conversation when each one showed up. We're upstairs. I dealt with that in the bedroom. Is what it is. And didn't matter. Brought the gun safes upstairs. Met with whoever it was to pick up the gun locks. Nope, do not key them to the same key. Nope, I'm being all Virgo, New Jersey, CDO gun law, all in one. All trucks have to have different keys. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. Yeah. That was me being all, that was my nagging combined with that. What I did. That's what I did. Dealt with that nonetheless. Yeah. So then later, sitting in the backyard after taking care of some stuff, letting my children play on the playground for the swing set stuff. They're playing, doing their stuff. Okay, lunchtime, nap time. Put them upstairs in each of their bedrooms. Go back downstairs. Have a quick smoke. Go to walk towards the shed. So the way my backyard was, is there's the patio and grass. The swing set was right by the patio with a sycamore tree. And then, you know, mainly grass area. There was 2 oak trees kind of at a diagonal area. Towards the other side of the patio, which was along the house, was a shaded garden area. And then there were Texas sage plants along one side of the fence line and oleanders on the other side. And then there were these green and yellow type of bushes that separated where the vegetable and fruit garden were. Had a little arch. The arch was originally in the center of the yard, but I moved it towards the back, towards the shed. Okay. There was a cactus plant there, and then I got rid of that because I had children. Oh, and there was a crepe myrtle redbud that was in the center as well. So then, you know, after on the other side of the archway, there's the vegetable garden along where the brick wall was, and then had it in different rows, like the different plants and stuff, and then a spiral pyramid for the different vegetables, and then some strawberries as well. And then I had fruit trees and bushes, and then there was the shed. It was 1/3 of an acre, but I did what I could in the different areas. And as I go to walk towards the shed, Nick starts barking. Now there was Nick and Princess, the miniature schnauzers. Nick, stop barking at me. You know it's just me. Go to open it. Dog will not stop barking. I'm a Chinese food you. I'm a Chinese food you. Shut up. And he wouldn't stop. Stop it. And he just yip, 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 yip. Bouncing as he yipped. Boy, Chinese food you. Don't you make me Chinese food you. My great-grandfather taught me a whole bunch of stuff. Don't make me Chinese food you. Just saying. Just saying. And so, you know, he wouldn't stop. So I turned around, and right when I went to go bop him on the nose, then there was a bump sound, and then my shed was like a C. It turned into a C. All of the fence was poof, and there was a Datsun truck in my shed. Nick, I'm gonna give you a T-bone steak after this. I did. I got a T-bone steak. Him and Princess got to eat awesomely that night because I was like, yes, thank you. My bad. Okay, cool. That's cool. I'm on T-bone steak. Go on the patio now. And so they went and look over at the Datsun truck that's in my shed. Look up at, you know, So then, like, I hear the gear shifter, and I was like, I don't think so. Make that a little muddy, just enough. Go over to the passenger window. There was mud starting to spray. The boy that was in the driver's seat then looks over, he goes, oh, you're here. Get out of your truck right now. Right now, right now. Your truck is not going to leave. I won't let it out. Turns off the engine. Gets out of the truck. Go to the patio. Now. Boy looks at me. Go to the patio. Right now. Don't make me carry you there. So we went to the patio. Called 911 for them to come out. A police officer showed up about 3.5, 4 hours later, because apparently there were a whole bunch of car accidents because it was drizzling rain. It wasn't even a downpour, it was just drizzling. And as the police officer stood in the tire tracks next to the Datsun truck, I walk over, I'm like, hey! And he looks at me, he goes, so where's the Prowler? That's a Datsun truck. So then, you know, the police report was taken, all that sort of stuff. Well, a few days later, and I'm not going verbatim, I'm, you know. So, truck was removed, you know, and I'm looking at my shed. I'm thinking, I just really don't want to deal with this. I really don't want to deal with this. Like, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Look over on the other side of the street is this guy walking around the corner. Don't. You're going to do it. Don't. So, walks across the street, diagonally to where I'm at. Don't. Now, mind you, at that time, I did not have this haircut or hair color. Did not have any tattoos. I had long brown hair, and it was in pigtails. So I probably looked like I was 10 years old. Nonetheless. Don't. I know you're gonna. I don't want to. I don't want to hear it. Don't. So then the guy walks onto my property, stands in the tire tracks, looks down, then looks at me and goes, it looks like a truck just drove in there. You are on my property. So you're gonna deal with what comes out of my mouth, is what my thoughts were. Just, you're on my property. You're gonna deal with it. You are. You walked all the way over to where I am. And you're standing on my property, not on the sidewalk, on my property. You're gonna deal with what I gotta say, and I know you're not gonna like it, and I don't care, because all you have to do is like take one step backwards, and that's it. You don't have to, but you're gonna stay there, okay? In my thoughts again. Yeah, what would give you that idea? I mean, there's just tire tracks that are, you know, from the street into the shed. I didn't think it took a head and Jew to figure that out. And that guy got pissed. He got upset while standing on my property. So then, he started yelling. I just kept looking at him like, your feet are on my property. And this is the state of Texas. In my thoughts. On my property. And this is the state of Texas. That's all I was thinking. Yeah. I don't. You are on my property. In the state of Texas. My math is I don't give a damn about your opinion while you are on my property in the state of Texas. Care that I have pigtails in my hair. Don't care. You have my property and just I don't like your attitude. You're on my, and then you are on my property, and I don't care. Like at all. Freedom of speech. And you came to me. You did not have to. You chose to. So because you chose to come to me on my property, say what I want to. So then he looked at me and he goes, it's not your property. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is my property. I don't care. I don't care. And he looked at me and he goes, you're too young to own a house. I can own whatever I want. I own my house. I pay my bills. I don't care how young I look doing that. I don't care. It's my house. It's my property. I don't care. And then, ironically, he says, I want to speak to your parents. And so I say, why? Why would you want to speak to my parents? What are they going to do? Ground me to my own house? Yes, I know how. Didn't care. Still on my property. Then my biological father drove up. In the 93 Honda Civic that I purchased. Pulled up. Sees me all. And this big tall guy just like, my property. So then Mike gets out of the car. What's going on here? Oh, he's being mean. You're being mean. He came to my property. He told me, and I told him. And so, guy goes and says, is this yours? And he points to me. I'm my own person in my thoughts. And so he looks at Mike and he's like, this is yours, blah, blah, blah. And Mike goes, yeah, what about it? I'm like, thanks, I'm not even a she. All right, whatever. I mean, I thought that I was going to just, okay, boy, female, whatever, thanks. Whatever. So then the guy, your daughter's being rude and blah, 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 and you need to deal with it and blah, blah, blah. Mike, verbatim, what am I supposed to do? Ground her to her own house? You're standing on her property. So if you don't like the words that are coming out of her mouth, then, you should probably not be standing on her property because I'm not going to ground her to her own house. And the guy got pissed. He's like, what do you mean it's her house? I told you it's my house. I don't care. I know that probably didn't look. I don't care. Don't care. It's my house. My property. So I don't care. I don't care. Nonetheless, Guy got all like, rah, 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 rah. I don't care. You're still standing on my property. If you stand on the concrete, you're not on my property. But you're on my property. Like, and this is the state of Texas. And I don't care. I know, with pigtails and all, don't care. Do not care. Well, you know, Mike and that guy had a couple of words, and then he finally got off of my property and then left. Well, I wound up dealing with a bunch of stuff, you know, like insurance for that guy who had put his truck in my shed. And then, after I got, like, the stuff done with Fred Loya, I contacted via the covenant, like, read it over, said that I needed to send them the plans and all that stuff, so I did. And they had 30 days to contact me, to tell me if they needed any additional information, or if there were changes that needed to be made. 2 or 3 months went by. The truck incident, that happened in like June or May. I didn't get to build the shed after dealing with all the insurance stuff until like September. So it took a while to deal with the insurance. And then get the fence fixed and all that stuff. Did all the stuff, and then I found out the shed that was on the property was actually not in accordance with the covenant. So, you know, what the Fred Loya company had said as far as, you know, oh, you could take a hammer and like bang out the metal shed that was in the shape of a C, and that'll be fine. It'll work just fine. No, that's not how that works. No, I should not have to do the work for what your insured messed up. And then that guy said I had an attitude because I told him the reality. Anyway, just saying, was I wrong? No, the answer is no, I was accurate. So, then, in January, the following year, I got a phone call. But I'm feeding my son and my daughter. So my now dead ex-husband, just before the first separation or whatever, just whatever time, he answers the phone and then he looks at me and he goes outside on the back patio. I'd seen him do that a couple of times. But then, like, I heard him being cut off. Like, I literally heard him speaking, and then speak, well, that's not normal. I've never heard any discussion like that. So, finished taking care of my children. Let me go see what's going on. What's happening? Something seems a little off. So, what's going on? Light up a cigarette. Sit out on the patio chair. And the rest of the discussion was, well, but, what? What type of discussion is this? It is very odd. And so, mind you, my now dead ex-husband was doing breast cancer research. I dealt with conversations about my smoking. Have to give that precursor. My now dead ex-husband then gets off the phone, looks at me, knows what I had dealt with. I said, "Who is that?" He said, "You should light another cigarette." My math, something was wrong. I had never been told by him to ever light another cigarette up until that point. Okay, it's different. So I had 2 cigarettes lit. Because I had like I had smoked 3/4 of the one cigarette, and I wasn't gonna let that go to waste. So, okay, I got one in each hand. Go. And he said that that was the president of the Homeowners Association, who had said that if the shed was not cut down 6 inches, the president of the Homeowners Association would put a lien on my house. What? Give me that fucking phone. And one of the very few times where my now dead ex-husband was like, "Here you go. You do it. You look mad." And he went inside. He went and hid. I was like, called the number that was written down, like, "Oh, voicemail? Yeah, okay." Looked at the caller ID. Oh, call that number right back. "Hello?" And the guy on the other end was like, "Yeah, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, "Yeah, so you just spoke with me. And, you know, what do you mean you're going to put a lien on my house?" And he said, "Well, you know, this, that, and the other." I said, "Yeah, you had 30 days to contact me. This is like, then he tried to say, well, Thanksgiving, would you give me that time? Well, Christmas too, would you give me or anybody that time? Well, no, but so then why should I give you that time? I mean, I'm just saying, you're calling me threatening to put a lien on my house. I did everything according to the covenant." So then that guy was like, "Well, I'm a police officer." Just because you're a police officer doesn't mean you have the legal right to actually use that as a threat against me. You are a president of the Homeowners Association. Do you not have the cognizance to disassociate the difference between being a police officer and being a president of the Homeowners Association? Because those are two different ones. And by the way, thank you for your service to the city of San Antonio. However, if you're going to try to say that your dick is bigger than mine, well, I signed the dotted line to serve my country and keep the United States of America and the world safe. So, if you want to go into whose dick is bigger than whose, my dick outweighs yours. He apparently did not like that. And told me that if I didn't cut my shed down 6 inches, that he would put a lien on it. So I contacted the company Procom about the situation. When I did not get an email response, because I sent an email and I did call, I then went over to Procom. Because I was like, "No, you are not going to put a lien on my house. You are not going to put a lien on my house. I am not okay with that at all. That is not acceptable. And my shed is still going to be there." Which it is. Anyway. That was a mess up now, wasn't it, on their part? Nonetheless. So, I went to the office. They did, the stereotypical, "Oh, we'll put a little girl in a big room. She'll be so scared." or not. I grew up in New Jersey. I've dealt with actually scary people. And my shed is still there, despite what they did. My shed is still in that backyard. Nonetheless, they sent a lawyer in and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, here's the covenant. Here's where, yeah, here's this. Here's my email that I sent to you. Here's this, here's this, here's this. If you want to go and do what your company did as far as the Marine Corps guy, go to court and then, you know, because it was over a flagpole. I'm sure that a judge really would not like the fact that you would, with your pattern of behavior for your company, to go like that. And you really don't want to anger me. You really don't. And then, you know, that's not a threat. Things tend to happen. Have you ever heard? I mean, I can make this joke now. Have you ever heard act of God? I mean, that was what I was thinking at the time. But that's a whole other ball of wax. I don't appreciate being treated as such, and I will not tolerate it. So, you want to give me these points, I'm giving you these points. I'm medically retired from the United States of America's Armed Forces Army Branch. I am a stay-at-home mom. Do not test a mother who cares a lot. Really do not like how the background of the cell phone keeps acting up. However, let's see if this pops up again. Issues with technology. Nonetheless, three days later, I got a leniency letter saying they'll make an exception for my shed. Okay. Now, I was going to leave it alone. I was going to leave it alone. It wasn't going to be a problem. However, because of certain issues and having to be back in the state of Texas, that flashing in the background of that, what I'm seeing on the screen, is really annoying, and I don't care. Because it's not the lights. That's the cell phone, by the way. Or you could make a joke, those are my wings annoying certain things, because I'm really tired of a lot of other things being an issue. Coming out and lighting things up. Nonetheless, that guy, the president of the Homeowners Association, wound up having his house. I didn't know that. It was in the same part of the subdivision. And so he had to drive by my shed every day that he left and every day that he drove back. And my shed is still there to this day. 6 inches taller. And it was a complaint by him that my shed was 6 inches taller than everybody else's shed. There were no dimensions listed in the covenant, and they would have had to put the amendment in and let everybody know legally. So I let the neighbors know, among others, and I refused to ever purchase a house with a homeowners association ever again because of that one situation. I actually recommend certain homeowners associations go defunct, especially if they have any laws against the Second Amendment, because that is going against the constitutional rights of each law-abiding citizen of the United States of America. And they know that. And trying to, whatever state their company came from, the state of Texas, unacceptable. And then to hide it all the way towards the middle, towards the back, that's called sneaky law practices, if I'm not mistaken. Just saying. Anyway, you have a good one.